Hey guys, and welcome back to this place. If you are new, welcome here for the very first time. I'm Carmen, and today we are delving into Season 3, Episode 6 of Battlestar Galactica. The last episode, things got a bit heated, not just for me, but for the characters. They really had, I think, a really fascinating sort of look at humanity and trauma and grief and what that can do to a person and sort of the bits of humanity that it can steal from you, because we had characters like Tyrell and Starbuck making choices that I feel like goes against who they are as people, because they had been through something that really deeply affected them and made them sort of desire to inflict pain on others. And I think that it's a very human story. I think it's a really sad one, but I think it's very realistic and human to portray. And I'm glad that they, including Tigh and everybody else in the group, sort of ultimately had a mirror held up to them, and it made them, I think, hopefully, realize how wrong what they were doing was, and it's going to impact them going forward, and hopefully they will make better choices and less destructive choices in the future. I am happy that Rosalind is back in charge, and along with Adama, I'm curious to see like how that's gonna go. Curious to see the continuation of Starbucks healing, because I definitely think she's still very much mirrored in like the trauma and the hurting other people stage. I don't know that she's clawed her way out of that yet, so I'm interested to see where that's gonna go. Interested to see how the fleet will repair itself going forward, and how people will try to forgive each other and forge bonds going forward. And interested also to see how poor little Gaius does in the Cylon fleet all by his lonesome. So, without any more talking, let's just find out how some of this is going to play out.
Something special on the horizon.
Cylon psychology is based on projection.
Projection.
It's how they choose to see the world around them. The only difference is you choose to see me.
What are you, really?
Yeah, I'm curious about that as well.
You're either connected to the woman I knew on Caprica, or you're a damaged part of my subconscious struggling for self-expression, so which one is it?
Why not
I'm an angel of God.
both? She's not just head 6, right? Because she has in the past known things that there's no way that his subconscious could know. You know? Sorry, I said that weird. But it's just, there has to be more to it. At least they finally gave him some pants, or at least boxers. So he, like, I wonder if he's losing track of how long it's been, because he has no way to track days, minutes, hours.
So, what do you say?
Haven't asked him yet.
Asked him what?
Earth. Do you know how to find it?
Not really, no.
Well, that's unfortunate. There was a hope, my hope, that if you knew the way to Earth, it would justify keeping you alive a little longer.
Wait. Now, when I say that I do not know exactly where Earth is, that is not to say that I do not know a very great deal about its probable location. What do you care about finding Earth?
Yeah.
Because we're looking for it.
Why?
Yes, we've decided that Earth's going to be our new home.
Just coincidentally where the humans would like to make their new home. That has nothing to do with the humans going there. Fucking Cylons are annoying. Presumably, of course, I don't know this to be the case, but they could land or exist on any planet. Like, they don't have the same biological needs as humans, do they? Like, do they need oxygen? Do they need sustenance? Like I I don't know.
Red Team Apollo, I'm going after Cat.
They're doing training.
I'll take care of Cat.
Starbuck, you stay in formation. Norcho has Cat.
Inbound.
Starbuck, you're too close.
Compressor blew. Looks like it threw a blade. Severed the fuel line. Callie, check the tank.
The tank's bone dry. There's not even fumes in here.
Captain, how'd you land this thing?
Pointed it toward the deck and stopped when I got here.
Bone dry, she says. Landed the bird without a drop of fuel.
If you want to die, I will open up an airlock for you. But you are not taking one of my Vipers with you.
The bird's on the deck. I'm on the deck. I don't know what you're bitching about.
I don't give a crap what you do, Starbuck. You're done flying.
Honestly, I think that's a good idea because she is a bit, reckless right now because, she's just trying to distract herself from all of the trauma.
Don't look at me like that.
Oh my gosh.
How drunk are you?
Helen? Helen?
Tigh, how much have you had to drink? Oh, this is not good. He's gonna, this is not good.
I'm right here.
What is this? Go of me.
Yeah. So it's kind of leading credence to my theory that he might not have killed her. Or he could just be having some issues.
Kara.
Oh.
Well, Casey's been asking to see you for days, and I sent messages, and I thought maybe, you'd come for a visit.
She's going through something right now.
I'm gonna be honest with you. The last thing I need is a 2-year-old friend. And Casey sure as hell does not need me in her life, so do us both a favor and do not bring her around here again, okay?
Sorry, don't let us keep you up.
I mean, okay, like, I can understand that you would be upset, but, like, also maybe realize that, like, the people were traumatized on New Caprica, and, like...
That's it. See? See? I told you you could do it.
Like magic.
Remind me never to let that happen again.
I need him to train me, honestly. If it's that easy.
I'm curious, Mr. Gator, what is it that you trust about Dr. Baltar's research?
There's one thing I learned about Baltar. It was his extraordinary capacity for self-preservation. We have never had a direct look at this area, but it is possible with a couple of eyeballs out there, they might look at the nebula and see...
Giant lion's head.
Well, it looks like this is the best thing we've got going, so...
Let's go that way.
I suggest we go lion hunting.
Have you ever daydreamed? Imagine that you were somewhere else? Well, we don't have to imagine, we project. We choose to see our environment in any form we wish, whenever we wish. For instance, right now you see us as standing in a hallway, but I see it as a forest.
But you're still in a hallway.
Like walks that you and I used to take on Caprica.
The aesthetics what gives me pleasure, not the specific memories.
Sure.
Instead of staring at blank walls, I choose to surround myself with a vision of God's creation.
But you're still not actually there. It is still ultimately just a projection, right?
A vivid reality that I've created, and the Cylon projection experience seems to be so similar.
Is it a coincidence?
Well, what do you say? Am I a Cylon? Just talking out loud.
Is he a Cylon? Anybody could be a Cylon, we just don't know.
You want me, I'm yours, Boomer.
Oh no, Boomer was, she was someone else.
Sharon.
Listen up. We need a call sign for Lieutenant Agathon. Chrome Dome. Titania.
Chrome Dome.
Athena. Digital day. Wait.
Athena. That's cool. Athena. That's cute. I like it.
You want to know what alone feels like? Try spending a few weeks in a Cylon holding cell.
Yeah. It was a bitch on both sides. You guys had it rough, huh? Hot showers, 3 squares a day. Viper Jocks didn't even take a shot till you jumped into orbit.
Hey. We all made sacrifices.
While you were pinning wings on your Cylon girlfriend, our people were strapping homemade bombs to their chests, doing whatever they could to take the bastards out.
They shouldn't have done that.
Give me if I don't get all misty over your sacrifices.
You know, without them coming back, y'all would still be there, right? Like,
I used to think you and I would have a baby one day.
There are only 12 Cylon models, but in the entire occupation on New Caprica, I only saw 7. Who are the final 5?
I can't talk about that.
Can't, won't.
I can't. It's complicated, but we don't talk about them. Ever.
Why? Who are they?
But you'd know one of them, wouldn't you, if you saw them, one of the final 5, if they were to walk past here, right?
6, we have a problem.
A base ship. The one we sent to investigate the pulsars in the Lion Nebula. We've lost contact.
Who are the final 5 models?
What's going on?
Yeah.
Missing base ship. It's been infected with some kind of disease.
What kind of disease?
It's killing them. All of them.
How?
If an infected Cylon dies and carries this disease with them into a resurrection ship, it could rapidly spread, potentially infecting our entire race.
Then no Cylon can board that ship without risking infection.
Guys, this is not Cylon. As far as we know.
So you'll go aboard the infected base ship and investigate what happened. You sent them to that nebula, remember?
Are you mad?
You have to prove to them you can be counted on in an emergency.
So he's not Cylon then if he does that.
And if you're really a Cylon, then wouldn't you just rather get it over with and die?
I'll go.
What?
Yes, I'll go.
Also, maybe he could, like, learn about whatever it is that hurts the Cylons, because that's a good thing.
Truly selfless act.
Well. Ish.
Trust is an overrated commodity.
That one I'll drink to. Fuck you guys.
Yeah.
What's your problem, Katrina? My problem is you, Captain. And all this us against them crap. You know what, Starbuck, whatever happened to you down there, why don't you take it out on the Cylons? Because we busted our ass to get you off that rock.
Do you think that means anything?
It should.
Every colonist that landed on New Caprica was loyal to a point. It was amazing watching those people that you thought you knew go over to the Cylons. Don't kid yourselves. You're on your own in this life. Each and every one of us.
Why don't you tell that to the pilots that died getting you off that?
Right?
I'm also told that Colonel Tigh's is spending a lot of time down in the pilot's rec room.
Both him and Starbuck, sir. They've been holding court, second-guessing the rescue, bad-mouthing the crew that stayed up with Galactica.
Mm-hmm.
If you weren't in the ground war, it's like you can't be trusted.
Yep.
People are listening.
Yep.
The word carries a lot of weight. They're destroying morale and unit cohesion.
They both know better.
I don't think they care, sir.
Yeah. They're both on a path of self-destruction, and whoever the fuck they can take on their way.
Diagnostic functions within parameters repeats the hardware one. The agony exquisite, the color.
Is that a new model we haven't seen?
Most Cylons think the conscious mind of the hybrid has simply gone mad, and the vocalizations we hear are meaningless.
A hybrid? What does that mean?
But not everyone thinks so.
The ones you know as Leoben believe that every word out of her mouth means something, that God literally speaks to us through her.
Okay, well, Leoben is like...
She experiences life very differently than we do, guys. She swims in the heavens. Maybe Leoben's right. Maybe she does see God.
I don't know that Leoben's right about anything, to be fair.
Jump.
Oh, she just jumped them somewhere? Oh. Okay, so... Oh, I thought that she was like one of the infected ones, but she was just the hybrid that runs the base ship? Okay, Okay, this must be the infected ship. Yeah, because I guess Caprica 6 was with him, right? So it makes sense that that wouldn't have been the infected ship. What is this infection? What's that?
What the hell is that?
Yeah.
Definitely man-made.
Maybe the 5 Cylon models they don't talk about, like, turned against the Cylons. The others, the 7 that are remaining. Oh, a brunette one.
Sonic. Please, I can't bear that.
I'm just gonna take some blood samples for analysis on the base ship, and then we will be able to make a treatment for the disease.
Will you?
Yeah. From Galactica.
No. I'm from a base ship. Do you know what this is?
Yeah.
Found it floating at these coordinates.
Oh.
Must be some kind of a beacon.
It looks too old. It looks very old.
Okay.
Must have been left by the 13th tribe. Infected. Poisoned.
But
you knew we'd bring it aboard.
You don't know what you're saying. This is the disease. Speaking through you. Calm down. I am going to bring help. I am going to bring help.
You wanted the other base ships knew it was
I'm going
here.
to bring help. Shut up!
No, you lie to them.
Shut up!
You bring them here. It's your fault,
Shut up!
all of us.
Shut up! Shut up, please! Shut up!
Guys, do you hear us? What do you see? Are any of them alive?
This is Guy's Balthar. I'm returning to the base ship.
What do you see?
Is he gonna tell him?
I've seen nothing. Nothing of consequence.
Interesting. I wonder if he'll say anything about that.
Nobody likes it, but we have to make a terrible choice. Do we attempt to rescue and risk the lives of our fleet, even our species, or do we leave them?
Even the humans don't abandon their own.
They must be sacrificed for the greater good.
How did this happen?
Yeah.
It's Baltar. It's his fault he led us there deliberately. He's been working with Galactica the whole time.
It wasn't me.
We followed your coordinates and found a disease with no treatment or cure.
But if they knew that, don't you think they would have used it against you sooner?
We have to jump and leave them to their fate. There is no other way.
Mists of dreams drip along the nascent echo, and love no more. End of line.
The hybrid objects.
She doesn't get a vote. This disease must have come from someplace.
Yeah. Where did it come from?
What did you notice on the infected ship?
Nothing. Nothing. I am just as baffled.
You noticed nothing suspicious on the infected ship?
Nothing whatsoever.
I wonder if 6 will betray him or not. She was certainly angry that he lied because she knows the truth.
Have a drink.
You don't need any more drinks, Tigh. You're an alcoholic. You need to not have drinks.
Your sidearm.
Oh, is he taking them off duty?
Hey, there's a live round in that.
Not one of you, and I don't care who, pick that weapon up and shoot me.
Admiral, I don't know.
I didn't say to talk. I said to pick up that weapon and shoot. What's the matter? No guts. Both fracking cowards.
Watch your mouth.
Or what? You gonna turn the rest of my pilots against each other? Poison the crew? You've already done that, Saul.
Yeah, well, if you're looking for an apology, it isn't gonna happen.
Damn.
You were like a daughter to me once. No more. You're a malcontent and a cancer, and I won't have you on my ship.
Is he gonna kick him off the Galactica?
Figure out how to become a human being again and an officer. Or you can find another place to live off of this ship. You're dismissed. Listen, I know you've been through a lot.
Don't patronize me. Say what you came here to say.
He's not patronizing. He's trying to understand. He's trying to explain to you that
you're full of bile, hatred.
He knows that you've been through shit.
And I know that has something to do with Ellen. I'm sorry for that. And if you need time, Saul, well, you take all the time you want. But I gotta run a ship. The last thing I need is a one-eyed drunk. So I'll tell you once again, Saul.
He's calling it like it is.
You can pick up that weapon and kill me. Or you can get your ass back into your quarters and not leave until you're ready to act like the man that I've known for the past 30 years.
You won't, yeah.
That man doesn't exist anymore, Bill.
Well, then act like
And you won't be seeing me again.
I mean, to be honest, Tigh had a lot to work on for the past 30 years already, so, like, he should try to evolve into a better version of himself, but we'll see. She's gonna cut her hair. I think she's just gonna cut her hair. To be fair, I think it was like, and I know it was early 2000s, but it was like a bad extension job anyway, you know? Tigh, you need to like, oh, she did go to her. She's a cute kid. It's not her fault. Tigh, you need to stop drinking. Whatever happened with Ellen, you need to find a way to try to live with yourself. Grieve. Hate yourself if you have to. Hate her if you have to. But keep going.
The Lion's Head Nebula and the Blinking Eye.
Why did she go like that? Oh, wait. Is she gonna get infected now?
Let's get the frack out of here. I'll start the jump.
They're not moving, but you don't need to go up on there, Sharon.
When God's anger awakens, and the mighty shall fall.
What does she know? This did not say that it was a part 1. They tricked me. Okay, you guys. So first off, I had no idea that this was a part 1. So, or a to be continued sort of situation. It was a really like, I don't want to say slow because I don't mean it in a negative way. It was a very like episode, if that makes any sense. And I don't know how else to describe it. Like, I don't know the words that I would use to articulate what I mean. But like, if the last episode was like up here, like this episode was like some stuff happened that was, you know, a bit more like here. But overall, it was kind of like a really like chill episode, I guess maybe is the word I'm looking for. But yeah, especially everything with Gaius, like it was quiet. Like it was like, it brought it down. Again, not in a negative way. Just like the overall feel of it was a lot more just down there. I don't really know. There was a lot of interesting things in this episode. We're seeing the fallout for Starbuck and Tigh regarding just their trauma and how they're coping with it, which is to say not really coping with it. They're sort of avoiding it. They're sort of burying it. Starbuck with sort of the same coping mechanisms that Tigh is employing right now, which is like alcohol, avoidance, anger. I don't know. I'm hopeful that the end, at least for Starbuck, is showing that she's sort of shedding the past and trying to find a way to move forward. Yeah. I think that here's the thing. It's easy for me, in a way, and for Adama to sit there removed from the trauma that they both experienced on New Caprica and sort of say, like, suck it up, move on. However, I think that when they are actively causing more harm to everyone, then it is sort of Adama's job to tell them that they need to find a way to cope with what happened, right? Like, I don't think that it's unfair of him to sort of give them the ultimatum when they are actively harming his crew and they're actively harming other people and they're dismissing what other people went through because they're playing this sort of weird, like, my trauma is more traumatic and therefore more valid than your trauma. Yeah. And, like, obviously I think that they have both been through horrific trauma. I think everybody on New Caprica went through a lot. And it's hard because I don't believe in that, the game of, like, judging, like, your trauma and, like, what you went through against what someone else went through and, like, saying, like, I can't feel bad and I can't be traumatized because I didn't go through this even more horrific trauma, right? I think a lot of times in real life you kind of have this idea of well, someone else has it worse, so therefore, or there is this idea. I think hopefully we're shifting our mindset now in society, but there's always this or in my lifetime, there's been this idea of, like, I can't complain because I have it better than this person, and then that person can't complain because they have it better than this person. And the thing is, like, everybody has shit that they deal with. Like, a lot of people have trauma, and a lot of people go through shit. And just because maybe your shit looks different than somebody else's doesn't mean it wasn't hard as fuck for you to get through. It doesn't mean that it wasn't traumatizing. It doesn't mean that you're not reeling from it, right? So I think that there is this sort of danger, especially when it's othering people, right? Like, Starbuck and Tigh are actively trying to other people, and, like, the ship as a whole, like, they're trying to draw these divisions between people and say you can only trust and care about the people who went through the same thing you did. And, like, it's divisive. And so I think that I'm not gonna be like, they need to get over it, because how would you get over a lot of the things that they went through? But I do think that they both would benefit from therapy, like a lot of us would. But I think that they both do have to, if they want to continue to be active members of this society that they've created, of this civilization or whatever, I do think that they have to find a way to cope with what happened to them and to the things that they did, and to continue on, right? Like, if Starbuck wants to be a pilot, if Starbuck wants to be a part of Adama's military, if Tigh wants to be the CO or the XO, CO, the XO, you know, like, I do think that they have to cope. And I think it's going to take time. And I think that they should be allowed that time, as long as, again, they're not actively harming everyone else and creating divisiveness and division where there should be unity. I think that they should be allowed that time. And then once they have coped, they should be brought back in. Now, the thing is, I kind of disagree with Adama in a way, because he's saying, you know, go back to being the Tigh that I've known for 30 years. And I'm like, there was multiple times when that Tigh was not fit for duty aboard your ship. Like, his alcoholism has been a problem since the beginning. And I think that, like, I don't think addiction is easy by any stretch of the imagination to fight. And I think that this is definitely a chance where Tigh is probably going to fall further into his addiction and become a more volatile person than he has already been in the past. But I hope that he can somehow figure it out and, like, grow. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with him. I'm not sure what I want to happen with him. I have a lot of very complicated feelings about Tigh as a character. There's times I've really liked him, and there's times I've really not liked him and disagreed with him. I'm really not liking him at the moment, but I am open to the possibility that he will grow and change and make me like him again. I mean, I'm frustrated with Starbuck at the moment, but I in general love her, so I want her to get better and to, you know, cope with the things that happened to her and learn how to live again, I guess. So I don't know, we'll see. I'm interested in those characters and where they're gonna go, and, you know, what's gonna happen with them in the next episode and the future episodes. To move on from that, there's also a lot with Gaius in this episode and a lot of sort of interesting things. So, one, he lied to the Cylons. He knows, and Caprica 6 knows he lied. So I'm really curious as to what that dynamic is going to look like going forward, because he figured out what it was that was hurting the Cylons on that ship. And I don't know if it was out of self-preservation. I don't know if it was out of a hope that humanity could figure out something, and then he could figure out something from the blood that he took to defeat the Cylons and then get the fuck off of their ship. Like, I'm not sure exactly where his motivation comes from, but he knew what was causing what happened. Like, he doesn't know the ins and outs and, like, the details of it, but he knew what made them sick, and he chose to lie about it. And Caprica 6 knows he lied about it, so I'm just curious as to where that's going to go with them. I'm also curious as to how whatever it was came to be. Either the 5 models that we don't know about are, for some reason, fighting the others. That doesn't really make sense unless they've somehow evolved, because then surely whatever it is that they found would also hurt them and then ultimately kill them. Or if whatever humans are left on Earth have discovered a way to fight the Cylons. I think there's a lot of possibilities, but I'm very interested in this, like, disease that hurts the Cylons. And I mean, here's the thing. I don't want the humans necessarily, like Adama and them, to find out about it, because then if they use it and weaponize it, that's like chemical warfare, right? Which I think is horrific, and I would not want that to be the way that they defeat the Cylons, you know, because I don't want the humans to commit evil acts in defeating the Cylons, right? I ideally would like the Cylons to just fuck off and, like, form their own society away from the humans and, like, stop following them and wanting what they want. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how the humans would defeat the Cylons in a way that wouldn't also kind of be horrific, because they're trying to wipe out an entire group of people. And then also, you know, we have Hilo and Sharon's daughter to think about, who is a hybrid. So, well, she's not a hybrid, like a hybrid, like in this episode, but she is both Cylon and human. So, yeah. Speaking of the hybrids, I did not know that that was a thing, and it's kind of like fucked up. Do they all look like that one lady? I assume. It's just very interesting to me that that's sort of how they navigate like the ships and everything. Yeah. A few other things. I think it's cool that Boomer is now Athena. Like, I think that that's a cool little segue. I'm really interested in, what was it? The idea of projection, because the Cylons are like, we can project, like when Caprica 6 is talking to Gaius and she's like, you see this as a hallway, but I see it as a forest because like that's what I'm imagining, and so it's my reality, right? But they're not actually changing reality with their projection. It's just how they're choosing to see something. The reality is still the reality. They're still in a hallway. She's just choosing not to see it as a hallway. So like if I was a Cylon and I'm in a room and I was like, but I'm choosing to see it as like I'm on a deck in space, I'm still in a room. I'm just choosing not to see the room. So their perception, their projection doesn't actually change reality. Which I guess she never said it did, but yeah, I don't know. Interesting. I guess it's just kind of the same as the idea of VR, right? Because like I play VR games. I'm still just in my room, but like it looks like I'm not. I don't know. What I'm just rambling at this point. I'm sorry. I'm also a little bit worried about Sharon because at the end, like when they hopped in, like I hope that she doesn't somehow catch the disease, right? Like she did this like weird like thing, like she felt something. Maybe she just felt the presence of the other Cylons, or I mean they can't really do anything to them because of their current state. Or she felt whatever the disease is. I don't know. I don't know what she felt, but I hope that she will be okay because I like Sharon. And I don't know. I'm curious to see how the humans will either weaponize or not weaponize this disease. And if the humans have already, in fact, weaponized the disease, right? The ones on Earth. I don't know. I'm curious to see the origin of the disease. Curious to see how Adama and them navigate the disease if they do in fact find out about it, because I think it will say a lot about Adama and them, and I'm curious to know more. You know, like I'm always curious to see characters and tests of morality and like just see where they come out of it, because I think that, like I said a million times before, there's a lot of gray area, and I'm curious as to how they're gonna navigate it. Yeah, I think that that's all that I really have to say for now. I'm excited to see part 2. If you are also excited to see part 2, you can right now over on Patreon if you're watching this on YouTube, as well as my entire full-length reaction to this episode and every single episode thus far of Battlestar Galactica. That is over on Patreon as well, so go check it out if you want. There's also the mini-series and the Resistance webisodes. That is over there as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope to see you for, I guess, the to-be-continuedness of this episode. Part 2, I guess, even though it's not labeled as part 1 and 2. Anyway, I'm gonna stop rambling. Thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time. Bye, guys.